In this video, I'm going to demonstrate the returns page. Let's go over here under inventory, drop down the menu, select returns. To add a new return from here, we click new return, select our supplier name. Let's go with A1 Auto Parts. Let's say this is return 1. Click OK. Now let's go up here, select return 1. These are the parts that are on that return. You can add parts to return a couple different ways. You can click here, new return items. You can look up the part. Let's say one of these. We can select a reason. Is it a new part? Is it defective? You didn't need it. Let's just say this is defective. We're going to return 2. We don't know how many quantities been credited yet. I'm going to put in a description here. You can. Vendor invoice. This will look to see if we purchased any of these on a purchase order and give us that information. So let's select this purchase order where we purchased 5. And we're going to remove those from inventory. If you have a part that you don't stock or you don't want to remove from inventory, you can just put that to 0. Click OK to save that. So we now have that part on this return that we added right from the return screen. Now let's go over to the parts page. We can add an item to return from here. Let's click search so we see all our parts. Let's select this part. Let's click on add to return. Now from here we can select the return we just created. We can select one of the other returns, or we can create a new return right here. Let's go ahead and create a new return. Same process to create a return. Let's go with that supplier. Call this return 2. Click OK. Let's just say we didn't need it. Quantity of 1. And we can put in a brief description here if we like. Click OK. Now the third way to add a part to a return is from within the invoice, a job in the invoice itself. Let's go over here to Home. Let's select this invoice since we see it should have some parts on it. Select the items or items you want to put on a return. Select here, add to return, select the return. Let's go with that return number 2. OK. Now if you want to put more than one part, you can do that from here. Let's select both of them, add to return. Let's select that return number 2. OK. So let's go over here to the inventory page. And you'll see a list of all our purchase orders, our purchase order history, our returns, and our return history. So let's go here to returns. Let's start with return 1. And from here, we'll jump over to that return 1. See, it's already selected for us. You see it has the 1 water pump on there, or the 2 water pumps. Now, to process this return, let's click on Show in Data Sheet View. We can update any information we need to here. Quantity returned. Let's go ahead and say we were credited for 2. We're going to remove 2 of those from inventory. We didn't have a description. This was the vendor's invoice when we originally purchased it. And this number we can't adjust. This is going to be tracked by the system to let us know how many have actually been processed. Let's go ahead and save that. And then we select the items we want to process through. In this case, there's only one, so we'll select that. I'm going to process those selected items and their return invoice number from the vendor. Click OK. And you can now see that that return has been completely processed. We can go over to return history, and we can now see that return and that item or part that was on that return, the information about that quantity we returned, the quantity we were credited for, the amount that we removed from inventory. Let's go back to the returns page. Select return number 2. Let's go down here and highlight this part. Let's go check to see how many are in inventory. So let's jump over to that part. We'll see that there's 3 in inventory. Let's go back to that return. Select the return. Go to this part. Let's show now in datasheet view. Let's say we got 1 credited. We're going to remove 1 from inventory. We're going to go ahead and save that. Let's select it and process it. Make up an invoice number. And you see it disappeared from the list because we'd returned 1 and we're credited for 1, and it should have removed 1 from inventory. So let's go back to the parts page. Let's look for that part. There it is. And you can see it removed 1 from stock. Let's go back to the returns page. Let's go into datasheet view so we can update these. Let's say we got credited for that one. Got credited for that one. We got credited for that one. And we're not going to remove any of these from inventory. Let's hit enter or save over there. Let's select all these items because we're done with everything. Let's process the selected items. Let's enter an invoice number. And you'll see that return is now gone because all the items were processed. Let's go over to the purchase order history, and you'll see return history. And you'll see the 2 returns that we did today. And you'll see a return number 2, all the parts that were returned, quantities, the amount that was removed from inventory, the vendor's invoice on that return, and any note we might have made with that return. That concludes the video on returns.